Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to West Coast Supercars and Classics. I am here today with a gentleman named Frank Pecorelli, who is a salesperson at the Campus Nissan dealership in Victoria. And Frank has kindly offered to show us around the brand new 2018 Nissan Leaf. Hey Frank, how you doing?
Pleasure.
I'll give you a left hand shake because I got my right hand on the camera here. That's how we roll around here. All right, so talk us through it, Frank.
So this is the 2018 Leaf, just arrived. It's a SL model, completely upgraded for 2018.
What's new about it?
Absolutely gorgeous. They've completely redesigned the vehicle.
Yeah.
It has a 40 kilowatt hour battery. So the distance anticipated is approximately 240 to 250 kilometers on a charge.
Guys, for American viewers, that translates into roughly 150 miles, but that's the minimum sort of guaranteed thing that you guys are giving. So just the first gen, there's a bunch of first gen Leafs there. Is this a no-cost option on this model, or is it a special interior?
No, it is a no-cost option. They all of the SL will come with this.
The SL. Leather, yes. So this is a
it's like a microfiber.
Yeah, it's like an Alcantara type trim. That's really popular these days. Let's look at this.
It's versatile.
I'm getting ahead of myself. I know. Looking at the seat there. You know, I like the stitching and everything. This is really cool. So this is how you access all your driving modes.
Yep, and you have a little cheat sheet above it if you look right here.
Yeah, I see that.
Yep, so you can
it's a little legend there.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys can see that instead of having just one screen and nothing else there, this does have conventional buttons for your climate controls. I have seen some observations of people online showing that there's a combination of controls here, and they didn't quite understand why it wasn't all done like one way or the other. That's the way it goes when you're hybridizing controls like that. I think that's going to be common. And then if you look at this area, obviously this looks a lot more like a conventional car, so a lot of you people might be more comfortable with this kind of layout rather than just having everything on one screen. And
another thing to point out for you, as I was going to say, is that this is the first time that the Leaf went with an analog speedometer.
Yeah, I see that.
The other ones are completely digital.
Yeah.
So it's kind of broken up for a driver information center on the left, and then an analog display there.
Yeah, and you know, I would point out that you know, there's not going to be one technology that fits everybody's needs. You know, there's different kinds of customers, so I take that approach with this sort of thing. It's not, you know, there's nothing wrong or right about taking a certain engineering approach. Some people may like this style and this concept better than they like what Tesla is doing, and I can't, that's a personal choice you have to make, and I can't make that choice for you. Let's have a look at the rear seat room. There's my knees. Well, in its current configuration, there's not a whole lot of rear seat room here, but I adjusted the front seat a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. So now I've got plenty of leg room. This is an electric driver's seat, so I just put the seat cushion down a little bit. That's good. Everything seems to operate on this car, so I'm not too concerned about that kind of stuff. Really what I'm trying to do is get an impression of how this thing gets down the road, how it drives. What would it be like to drive this thing on a daily basis, right? That's really what you want to know. Is it really usable? So far, yeah, it's a piece of cake. It's really well done. It's as good as anything else probably that they make, you know, for general purposes. And the price point really isn't that bad. In Canadian dollars, I think they're starting at around 35 grand. Just getting back to this model, which is their most expensive model at 44,000 bucks. So now I'm going to pull the little toggle that's in the console, and I'm going to go into e-pedal mode. Okay. Now when you've put it into B and you put the e-pedal on, when you take your foot off the accelerator, it goes into a braking mode, okay? So it's the e-pedal means that you're in this automatic braking mode. So as you take your foot off the gas pedal, the car is going to now start decelerating on its own. So I'm not actually going to put my foot on the brake. Now, Frank was telling me that this thing will come to a complete stop when it's in this mode. Let's see. Yes, it will. That's right. Which is what I just did. So I'm coming up behind this Volvo here. I'm just taking my foot off the accelerator, and the car has now come to a complete stop. And that's without touching the brake pedal. That's actually really good. So you can, in traffic, just moderate everything, including your speed and your stopping, fully with just the one pedal, what we would call the throttle pedal in a conventional car, or accelerator pedal. I kind of want to use the various ProPilot features now too, so let's try that. I'll turn this blue button on. That turns the sensors on. Then I'm going to go into the distance mode. Okay. Now, do I have to turn it on, or is it going to do it? Activate. I have to press the set button to activate it. There we go. Okay, now I'm just letting, oh, okay, I don't have my foot on the pedal at all now. Let's see what happens. Is it going to crash? I hope not. Don't crash! Don't crash! Okay, that's the first time I've actually done that. I had faith in the system. Now I'm going to just let it do its thing. I've got it set to 2 segments on the automatic intelligent cruise control, and I'm actually quite far from that person, so maybe I should set it to 1 segment. Let me go on, set it to 1 segment, and then I'm going to just follow the traffic. Okay, here I am. I do not have my foot on the accelerator. The car is now maintaining the distance between us and that Honda minivan ahead of us. Here we go. So I'm just steering the car at this point. Kind of having fun with this. This is kind of fun. Now oh, I can bump it up. Yeah, I just use my thumb on the steering wheel, and I'm putting it to 40 kilometers an hour. So it's going to use 40 kilometers an hour as the benchmark until it senses something. So let's see what happens now. Here it goes, slowing down, and it's going to stop the car for me. Now it's just creeping along. It must know that that's a parked car, yes. So it also crept us along a little bit, and then it stopped a few meters from, maybe 2-3 meters from the next car. Now let's see what happens once the traffic starts moving. Now once I start off, I just gave it a little blip of the throttle, and now it's doing the rest for me. And I have preset the maximum top speed to 40 kilometers an hour. So I've learned how to do that, and it's going to follow this traffic. I'm going to turn right here. Now we're going to go through beautiful downtown Victoria's Inner Harbor. Now what's going to happen here? I do not know. Now it's turned itself off. All right, that's fine. So now I'd have to reactivate the system again if I wanted it to work. I can see how there's a bit of a learning curve. It does not see stop signs, by the way, so you have to do that manually. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I would use this system in day-to-day driving. It's hard to say. I think it might be a little bit more useful for highway driving and such, when you want to be, you know, cruising on the freeway or something like that. I could see a value in having this intelligent cruise. I'm not so sure about downtown traffic, how much I really would want to use it. There's a lot going on with urban traffic. Like, look at all this stuff. We've got road work, we've got stop signs. I mean, you're going to have to manually deal with all that stuff. So a system like this is not going to take much of that burden off of you. I'm really beginning to be sold on these e-cars, you guys. This is really the way. These things drive extremely well. They're nice to drive, very straightforward. Tons of advanced technologies in here. It just, you know, it's funny when you think about a gasoline engine car or an internal combustion engine car. you know, there's a lot of moving parts in those engines, and you know, they're basically glorified air pumps, right, that ingest air and they burn it and all this kind of stuff. And there's all these emissions that come out of it, and this excess heat and this and that and the other thing. And they have a ton of advanced technologies that go along with them as well. The difference between those and your e-car like this one is that you remove all of the inconveniences of the internal combustion engine, the noise, the pollution. With this type of car, an e-car, you can just charge it up at your house. I mean, that's obvious, right? You cannot do that with a gas car. Sorry, that's just not the way it works. So this is a completely different way of doing things, but I think it integrates better with the whole suite of technologies like the intelligent drive technologies and so on, because all of those technologies together, the intelligent cruise control, the lane warning, this kind of stuff, they work together with the energy management side of the things. So with a car like this, it is able to manage its energy. It tells you exactly what's going on with the energy, and you can actually interact with the energy management system to maximize your performance on a trip. And for almost every possible trip that you can think of making, from work or groceries or just doing your errands or whatnot, I cannot imagine that an e-car like this has any real disadvantage over that of a gasoline engine car. It just doesn't. Not to mention the fact that the price point of this car is very similar to a typical gas engine car. This is not that different, and you're getting all those advantages. Plus, your running costs. There is no way a gas engine car is going to keep up with the low running costs of this type of car, of an e-car. There's not a chance. The guys who own e-cars are telling me that it's about 1/5 the cost of running a gas engine car. You're saving a ton of money on your fuel costs, and that doesn't even touch your maintenance costs, and you know that the maintenance on something like this is not going to be as high as a gas engine car because there just aren't as many moving parts. You're talking about a lot of solid state stuff and an electric motor, which is a simpler affair than a gasoline engine. So I think all told, for average people, this is a great type of vehicle to have. Now, I can't see whether you'd want the Nissan Leaf as we are looking at it today, or whether you'd want a product from one of their competitors. That's up to you to decide, obviously, and I would certainly say that it's worth it to take some time, come down, have a look at the various cars that are on sale, and give yourself a chance to evaluate them as a really smart alternative to the gasoline engine car for your next family car. And I've really enjoyed looking at this one, and I would certainly be totally happy with this car. I can tell you that right now. I like it. I would like to thank Campus Nissan and Frank at Campus Nissan for letting me come and spend some time with this today and really get to know it. And I really appreciate some of these dealers who are, allowing me to come in and look at their products, because it really gives me a lot of insight and it lets me share it with all of you. So I hope you've also enjoyed this, and we'll keep doing more of them in the future. So feel free to leave me some comments in the comments section of this video. I'd love to hear your comments about e-cars, what you think about them, what you think about the Nissan Leaf or the competitors like the Hyundai and the Chevy Bolt and the Tesla Model 3. Probably that would be the big competitor to this one. Leave me some comments, and keep watching the videos, and let's keep making more videos. So thanks again.